All right, you guys, it is 8 o'clock p.m. Y'all know what time it is. It is Earl Grey Tuesday, and once again, it's that VINCE. And folks, I'm having a very, very bad day. And when I say bad day, I really mean bad day. First off, just to wake up this morning, I found that, you see, there was a despicable person who impersonated the Special Olympics of Idaho, and I shipped them out some products, and it turned out to be fraud. So Stripe is not going to cover it, so I'm going to be out $900. And then on top of that, I'm having distributor issues with the grocery site. So, folks, don't order from the grocery site for right now until I get that thing situated. But it's pretty bad. I'm having to yell at a couple people here. So, but I've had issues with all sorts of distributors. I think they fired a whole bunch of people and they're causing chaos. You know how these unions are and stuff. But other than that, we're gonna still keep doing the thing. Got my Earl Grey here with me. Like I said, this is why I drink Earl Grey at around 8 o'clock p.m. along with a little bit of smokes and drinks. I don't pop pills like Richard or any of these other people. Real men deal with their problems with cigars and liquor. Period. Or in this case, Earl Grey. So what are you folks drinking and smoking tonight? Hopefully your day isn't sucking as much as mine has been. So, but yeah, I've never seen anything like it there, folks. Never. In fact, I need to cut this off here. I don't even want to look at it no more. DJ Jones versus Cuban. All right, Lamar, I hope I'm glad you hit the like button. I've seen that you've been doing some live streams, so just keep it up. You'll need to make some other videos because you got to get your traffic up. That's going to be very important to do. Hey, what's up, Pugman? I certainly hope you're doing well. In case you missed it, for right now, just contact me, Pugman, if you need to make an order. I'm having some logistics issues with the grocery site, and it should clear up in about a week once they hire new people, but just wanted to give you a fair warning there. So just contact me if you need anything directly there, brother. Well, Pugman, the problem with nicotine pills is, here's the thing, a cigar has between 8 to 20 milligrams of nicotine. And if Richard's popping too many pills like Tic Tacs, he can get a whole lot of nicotine in them, like 30, 40 milligrams, very easy. And I've seen that happen a bunch to where people are just popping nicotine pills, But he shouldn't be doing that. I mean, it's kind of ironic. I told him to have a smoke every once in a while, and he doesn't want to do that. But nicotine pills, perfectly fine. No, Dale is just you're older and wiser. Absolutely nothing wrong with that here. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone feels more compassion, especially if you have a pet like a dog or something. But at the end of the day, it's better than actually hating animals and wanting to beat them with a stick or anything. Oh, quick pump, this is just part of doing business, You run into these things. I mean, like I said before, a real piece of crap has to be, you have to be a real piece of crap in order to impersonate the Special Olympics there and then just rip people off and stuff. So, oh well, you can't do nothing about things like that. Oh, you're doing fine, Lamar. If you're filming gaming there, that's the best way to build up a channel. I wish I can actually do that in my particular state. If I had, I'm going to be honest with you, if I had cable or fiber, I would be gaming. You know, you would definitely have 8-hour streams from me. Believe me, I'd be gaming all day. Well, Dale, I don't get angry or anything. There's nothing. I mean, this is an expectation whenever you're running a business. You know, the most I've lost probably is maybe $3,000 in a scam. So, in fraud, this type of stuff happens. You know, every year I have to mark off at least $10,000 to $15,000 in fraudulent transactions. Mm. Now, that may sound like a lot, but, you know, when you mark it off on your taxes, you know, you're covered pretty much. And then a lot of times I do recover that money anyway. You know, I'll send out collection, you know. It's easy to find out because when people get their stuff shipped, you know, and stuff. Believe me, none of this stuff goes, no stone ever goes unturned whatsoever. Well, I did a 5-hour live stream, Andrew. I may do one Saturday, actually. Well, I have a glass of Cabados. Of course, it's Earl Grey Tuesday. Have my Earl Grey, got water, and of course, a Nicaraguan cigar. I did order some new cigars in because I'm running pretty low. I've been kind of lazy as far as to placing orders, just trying to stretch everything out lately. I just been distracted for the past month. I'm going to be honest with you. Just a lot of crap going on for the most part. Well, Lamar, it's like a Lamborghini running on a dirt road. I mean, I can easily go buy one, but the problem is my internet. If you got no internet, it's just going to be all choppy and everything. I've tried the game up here before, and it was horrible. It was horrible. So once I get the internet straight, believe me, I'll be gaming. Because I do somewhat miss gaming, I'm going to be honest with you. That was always fun to do. Yeah, I heard. I just didn't get an opportunity to check out the Mint, unfortunately, with me dealing with issues and everything. But, you know, that's just the thing. Sometimes you get the elevator and sometimes you get the shaft there, you know. Hey, Joel, what's up? No, it's just part of doing business, you know. Most of the money I can recover from fraudulent transactions, but I'm not going to be able to get this one back. I have to account for 5% of my sales being fraudulent transactions. That's why I mark off automatically 10,000, 10 to 15,000, which it's conservative. It doesn't mean I'm going to lose 10,000 in a year, but I automatically mark it off for, you know, purposes such as this. I would say right now the game to stream would be that new Legend of Zelda Tears of a Kingdom. You know, I saw someone beat the game in like an hour and a half, you know. If you were streaming Legend of Zelda, Lamar, you're going to have a lot of people on your channel. That game is... People have been streaming that game 24/7. You know, people have been wanting to check it out. Yeah, Jay, I'm going to wait until Chuck E. Cheese Ranch publishes the video, because I'm sure he caught it. But I'll ask him later on. He probably got it. Oh, Truth One, awesome. I'll definitely check that out if you got the Cuban and Jonas situation. Oh, a new Dungeons and Dragons game? Oh man, is it, I suppose at this day and age it's not going to be on Laserdisc. But that's awesome. Or wait a minute, I'm thinking Dragon's Lair, but yeah, I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was in high school with my buddy Sam. I played it for a little bit. It was a good game, you know. Yeah, D&D is fun. I've seen the computer games, but I'm not too interested in it or anything. Phantasy Star 4 for Genesis. I did beat the original. Did I beat? No, that was Guardian Legend. I did play the original Phantasy Star. I think I got halfway through the game and I had to give back the Nintendo. Good game, though. But I certainly wouldn't have an issue gaming on another system or anything like that once the internet gets fixed. Or once that equipment gets in. Oh yes, Lamar, I remember the game. Nothing hadn't changed there, just a new century. Been missing streams like the new setup. Well, it's a temporary setup there, Protein Bra. I want to be streaming on my computer, so that way I can do reaction videos live. But we're gonna get there pretty soon. They said they're gonna be releasing the equipment, so hopefully I'll have that in about a week or two. But I may end up trying something else as well. Yeah, I played Diablo before. That's a good game. I think every Zelda game except that one on the 3DO was the best. The Zelda for the 3DO was horrible. I don't know what they were thinking. That's the only Zelda game that was piss poor. Every other Zelda game, perfect. Even Zelda 2. I mean, I couldn't get with the topical figure, but they still did the game pretty well. But definitely not Zelda for the 3DO. I mean, that was a horrible system to begin with. You know, I remember I was working at Montgomery Ward in Electric Avenue and they had that machine set up. And I went and realized, man, this thing's a piece of garbage, you know. I mean, it really is. And you have a 3DO competing with the brand new PlayStation? It ain't gonna work. Have I ever gone from 10? I've been at 7% body fat there, Protein Bra. That's the lowest I've been, is at 7%. And that's when I was competing. At my last show, I was at like 7 or 6%. Very, very lean. Just not good with water control, that's it. That's the thing, if you have any water under the skin, it makes you look a little blurry. But my weight's coming down as well, so I mean, you know. Like I said, the testosterone's working along with the training and stuff. Are you planning to be competing there, Protein Bra? The best way to do it is just cardio and, you know, just watching your calories. No, not from Somalia, Joel. Just from North Carolina. I mean, here's the thing, folks. Never worry about all that. You know, if you go back far enough, you can trace everybody back to Pangea. Just one time on stage? Yeah, well, you'll definitely need to get the diet. The diet is the most important thing. It's more important than the training. I almost forgot to do one thing. There we go. Oh yeah, Trump's very entertaining. NBC didn't hire him from nothing. You know, he's a great entertainer. That's why he packs out most of those stadiums whenever he does one of his Trump rallies. Everybody goes to his Trump rallies. I mean, it's hard to get a seat in there. It's like a Whitesnake concert, or the old Whitesnake concerts back in the '80s. Let me put it that way. I don't know what Whitesnake is doing right now. My parents, Joel, are from North Carolina. Well, my dad's from Ohio, but no, not from Somalia. You need to understand this, Joel. Since I'm from a family of slaves, when you go to Ancestry.com, my history is only going to go back to 1850. You know, before 1850, they didn't even register slaves, you know. For some reason or another, they actually, you know, yeah, that's as far as mine goes back to, is 1850. It's not going to go back any further than that. Joel, I don't know. How am I going to answer that? I'm from a family of slaves there, you know. Ancestry will only go back to the year 1850. I mean, it doesn't even matter anyway, whether it's Somalia or some other country in place. Joe, my mom doesn't know. It took me like a year to tell my mom that Egypt is in Africa. All I can say is somewhere in Africa, you know. Well, they brought slaves over to the Caribbean, so everything's going to be traceable, quick pump back to Africa anyway. You know, that's the same with Jamaica. They were slaves of the French until we threw them off the island. The same as Haiti. Well, mainly just Cleveland. That's where my dad and my brother live. They live in Cleveland, Ohio. They wanted me to move up there. I'm like, hell no. I'm not moving to Cleveland. I'm staying my happy ass in the South. But I am thinking about buying another house somewhere. I'm actually considering moving out of this home, buying a 3-bedroom. They got one for, I think, $200,000. But I may try to find a fixer-up. Not Cuban, not Mexican. Just El Negro. Earl Grey's good tonight. No, I'm probably going to move somewhere else here. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I just seen a couple of fixer-uppers come up. Well, that's the whole thing, T-Bray. If I was to go and sell this, it's actually increased in value. It's crazy. There's mobile home places with an acre of land, mobile homes all torn up, and they're selling for like $150,000 around here. Marketing industry is crazy. Do I have that in cash? No, absolutely not. Not even. I probably have only half of that, but I'm definitely not going to. I mean, I'm only going to put in. If I'm going to buy a house, Protein Bro, I'm going to put down a minimum down payment. I'm definitely not going to put down the whole wad. Yeah, I'm going to stay in Piedmont, or I'm going to go to Boiling Springs or Simpsonville. It'll need to be a spot to where the taxes are low. I'm not going to get a house in Greenville. I'll get killed on taxes, property taxes. Oh, I'm going to make sure my next place, Thick Cut, has cable and fiber. That's not going to be an issue. My percentage here was like 20%, but that's all done now. There ain't no payments except for the property under it. But I bought it for the total cost for my place was $50,000. I got an awesome deal on this place. Awesome. I wouldn't go to Lumberton, T-Bray. You'll get bored down there. Piedmont is super boring, but I'm close to downtown. I'm like 10 minutes away. So, I mean, I can drive downtown to Greenville. That's why I like this particular area that I'm in. And like I said, I'm literally 2 minutes away from the Thomas Creek Brewery, so I can always have a beer or so. Yeah, I can move the mobile home to another area. It would only be $3,000. I've also considered that too. A lot of things to consider, you know, bro team. Just got to figure it out. I'm not living with Kalura. The hell with that. Oh yeah, Joel, just make sure you upkeep it, you know, and your house will outlive you. Cleveland's a gutter. I hate Cleveland. I hate it when I have to go visit my dad. I mean, I love my dad and all, thick cut, but I absolutely despise Cleveland. It's just a nasty city. It's just it's just a nasty city. It's like someone dropped a freaking atom bomb on it. What's up, Goldberger? I mean, if my dad and brother want to live there, that's fine. I'm not going to. No, I mean, I've been to hoods, Lamar. That is just a. Ugh. That's more than just a hood. You can. Joel, I don't have a mortgage. This home's paid off. I'm just paying for the land under it, which is like $250 a month or so. But it could be easily sold and I can move it. There's just a lot of other things you need to consider. Well, I haven't decided yet, Joel, as far as to whether I'm going to move or not. There's a lot of decisions I have to make, so that's not set in stone. I haven't bought a new house yet. I'm considering buying one. I didn't really listen to Bone, Thugs and Harmony, Quick Pump back in the day, because, again, that's West Coast music. But I love their songs here. They're excellent artists. But again, they're still from the West Coast. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to avoid living in Greenville, Goldberger, because of property taxes. My property taxes are like $700 a year. It's cheap. Well, Pugman, someone was showing me a couple of houses, good fixer-uppers at a good price. I think it would be a good investment, you know. But it's a lot to think on. I would say it's a long shot. I would be more inclined to move to a property which has cable and fiber, but this property eventually will have it, so. You know, when I see something, you know, I always gotta think about it, you know. That's the thing about me. If I'm gonna buy something super expensive, I'm gonna think about it for a couple months, you know. And if I'm still in the same mindset to purchase it, then I will buy it. Well, everywhere else in Ohio is okay, including Sandusky. Just not Cleveland. If I sold my house, I would make about. The house now is worth maybe 70 or 80,000, because that's the cost as far as what mobile homes are selling for. They're definitely not selling for 50,000 anymore for a 2-bedroom. But I'm inclined on keeping it even if I buy a house because I got such a good deal on it. Yeah, good idea. Go. That's why Dave Palumbo moved from New York and moved down to Florida, was because of the taxes. Tater Tot, I heard about it. I'm going to check it out later. Truth One sent me a link, so I'm going to check it out. Yeah, I would try not to rent if you have to. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, Joel. Probably, I may just rent it out if I'm gonna get a new house. But again, this is just working in my head right now. Well, Truth One, it's all about investing. You know, I can keep this house and I can go and buy another house. You know, and collect rent money. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I like Florida's weather, Goldberger. I just don't want to get eaten by an alligator. Tennessee has a lot of foliage, but I would avoid Tennessee right now. If you're from the South like me, you'll do perfectly fine, but if you're anywhere from the North, you're going to get a culture shock as far as Tennessee is concerned. I might rent it to you there, Pugman. But my whole point as far as buying this house here is concerned, because I pretty much bought the house while I was making a whole bunch of income at Verizon. And I knew I wasn't going to work for Verizon forever, you know. In fact, I worked about 4 more years than what I wanted to do because my plan was to only work for Verizon for like 2 years to pay off everything, pay off my debts I accrued in Silva, you know, being married and everything. But it turned into 6 years, and then COVID happened and just a late casualty. Pugman, everything's non-smoking in all the restaurants. You can't smoke indoors. Unless you're at a cigar lounge. That's the only place you can smoke, but, you know, they're not really running too many restaurants. I mean, they got one real nice one, cigar lounge that serves some pretty good food. It's on Pleasantburg Drive. They got good food. But anything that isn't a cigar lounge or a hookah bar, you can't smoke in it. Well, Goldberger, the heat isn't as bad as you think. I mean, like I said, it's a culture shock, but you'll get used to it. In fact, you'll enjoy the warm weather. And if it's too hot outside, just stay indoors. Yeah, that's the thing about, that's why I mentioned Tennessee has a lot of foliage. So it's definitely not going to be good for someone that has allergies. Well, Goldberger, I've lived both in I'm from North Carolina and I moved to South Carolina. The reason being is because North Carolina is more of a liberal state. I mean, it's still very highly conservative. But the place I lived in Asheville was very, very liberal. It's probably one of the most liberal cities in America is Asheville. Surprisingly enough, if you're going to move to North Carolina, I would go to Raleigh or Charlotte, or at least I would live in. Technically, it'd be Charlotte, but live in the surrounding area so you don't get hit with the property taxes. But don't go to Asheville. No, you can't vape or smoke at the Swordfish Club. I would never move to California, ever. Not with Newsom being in office, that's for sure. Yes, I'm conservative, Goldberger. At a point in time back in 2000 to 2008, I worked for the Republican Party, actually. I did campaigns and stuff for the Republican Party and ran errands and did other things. At first as a volunteer, and then whenever election season ran, I got paid. It wasn't really much. It was like it was like minimum wage, but a lot of good benefits and stuff. And you get to learn a lot about you get to learn about the political system and everything. There are no hurricanes here the only thing you may have to worry about is a tornado, but not where I live. The reason being it's not only a mountainous area, but there's also, it's just not an area that has any potential for hurricanes because of the type of weather. This just isn't a spot to where there's a hurricane because I'm so far away from the coast. Quick pump, so it's not anything I need to worry about. The only thing I have to really worry about is maybe a tornado. But I got alarms in my house that will alert me if there's a tornado alert. Where would I hide in a tornado? Under the bed. I have a very heavy bed, but more than likely I would probably just drive away from the tornado. But I have alarm systems, Pugman, whenever there's a tornado alert, so... But I've never had there's never been a tornado around here in like maybe 70 or 80 years. Would I move to North Korea for $5 million? No, not even for $20 million. Here's the thing, Joel. What are you going to spend? What are you going to spend money at in North Korea? You can't spend your money on anything in North Korea. Nothing. Not only that, I'm black too, so, there's no black people in North Korea. They would seize my money and they would toss me out, toss me in prison. Either that or they'll make me work on the fields there. They'll be like, hey, look, a nigger. We got a nigger in North Korea. Let's put him out on the field and get him working, That's what those people do. But no, I wouldn't... I would never move to North Korea. Not for $100 million, not for 200, not for $1 billion. Would never move to North Korea because you can't do nothing with the money. Oh yeah, I thank Lenny for that. That was real nice of him. I just really want to help him out there. Let him. He needs to find his way, and stuff. Yeah, it'd be the state's money. Well, Infinite Warfare, it has nothing to do with the vegan diet. There's nothing wrong with a vegan diet in principle. He just eats crap. He eats a very crappy vegan diet. If you wanted to learn about how to do a proper vegan diet, if you can really call it one, you can go to my friend Tori Washington, but definitely not Vegan Gains. Well, I would. I mean, I know they're cannibals over there because they got very little food, but I doubt that they would want some dark meat or anything, protein. Nah, I wouldn't get killed. I would just get put out on the field. That's what'll happen, Joel. I would just get put out on the field. They wouldn't even lock me up. Good for you, Joel. Got some weed. 5 million, Lenny or Jay Masters as your roommate for 5 years. Probably Big Lenny. I wouldn't want to live with Jay Masters. But I would have to make sure Lenny stays extra clean at least, you know. One thing I am is I'm a neat freak. Not right now. I got things all over the place, but for the most part, I like keeping my place nice and clean. I mean, asking me a question like North Korea is like this here. If you only had 1 day to spend and you were given $20 million, but the catch is that the next day you die essentially. You get 20 million, but you die the very next day. I wouldn't take it. Now, if I was terminal with cancer, I would, so I can give it to my family and everything. But that's why I always say that your lifestyle and your way of life is way more important than any type of money that you get. Yeah, I would be forced into basketball league. Good one, Quick Pump. Goldberger, here's the thing. The guy came up there. He was threatening everyone. I don't know exactly what type of threats it was, but here's the thing. The police came down there, they investigated, and they let him go. That means that everybody that was on that train pretty much backed up what he did, in other words. Because if they didn't back up what he did, they would have immediately arrested him. But we'll see exactly what it is, because here's the thing. I've not heard any recording as far as to what he was saying specifically, you know. I would feel a lot more comfortable if I saw everything before that initiated the chokehold. But I think at the end of the day, he's not going to be convicted because the passengers pretty much backed him up. Otherwise, the police would have arrested him easily. I clean my floors once a week. I change my sheets once a week. I wash dishes every day. I vacuum also once a week as well. But I'm going to get one of those Roombas in order to clean the floors pretty soon. T-Bray, stay out of Cleveland. Pugman, I think it's because I don't have it. The reason why I want to pass things on to my family or specifically to my nieces and nephews is because I don't have any kids, Pugman. So I want them to not remember me as just an uncle. I want to make sure that they're taken care of, you know. I want them to move on and go on to greater things. So nothing would please me more than to leave everything that I have behind for them, you know. Because once you're at the end of life with terminal cancer, those are things that I would have to really consider. And you can't take it with you. So it's better if it's just passed along to someone in your family in order to take things. Now, I will make donations to some of my favorite charitable organizations, but yeah. And not only that, I can't really do anything else. You can't do nothing with money if you're dead, so. But good question. But I actually like my nieces and nephews, and I want the best out of them. I don't want my nieces and nephews to struggle throughout life as I did whenever I was growing up poor in order to build things, you know. My only hope is that whatever money that I leave them, Pugman, that they make good use of it. Joel, it's going to be a while before I get to debate Richard. I don't think he's wanting to debate me for quite some time. It's only 8 o'clock. I only went on at 8 o'clock, Psycho. Unless you're in the UK or so. Nothing new about Leo. If there is something new, I guess you can go to Perrin Fitness's channel, I guess. Well, that's my experience in law enforcement. You see, the problem with Richard and some of these other social justice warriors is they've never put on the uniform. They've never worn the badge, you know, and I have. And I have, you know, the thing about it is that, you know, if the police are always going to investigate things, and they're either going to arrest a person or they're going to let him go. And because they let him go, that means that tells me that the passengers backed up what he did, you know. Because if I was there and I investigated and the passengers backed it up, yeah, I would let him go. And not only that, I think he's an honorable person because he went and turned himself in, you know. He didn't go out on the run. He didn't go on the lam. He turned himself in like a real man would do, you know, and stuff. Well, yes, I would film at Quick Pump because the only time I go to Cleveland other than visiting my dad is whenever I go to the Arnold Classic. So, yes, I'll definitely film. Well, Joel, I mean, I don't have much carpet to vacuum, but, you know, I just vacuum once a week. I take a day in order to get everything cleaned up. But I'm not tracking mud everywhere, so, you know, no need for me to vacuum more than once a week. Yeah, he's been on the train a long time. If you found my type of lady, would I have kids? No. Because, like I said, I'm not going out with women anyway, obviously. If I was going to go and date, you know, I'd be lying to myself and to that person I'm dating if I went out and did that. I can't do that to somebody. There's a lot of guys that go and get married because that's what they're told to do in society. And a lot of times what happens is they go and start cheating on their wives with other dudes and stuff. And that's a horrible thing to do to anyone, to go and cheat because when you could have just shagged men instead of women. So it's all in a relationship, Psycho. You always have to be honest with yourself, you know. Don't put yourself in a position of where if you like dudes and everything like that, you go and get married to a woman because you're disrespecting that woman. Point blank, period. KCB, why are they letting him go for if he's sucker punching people? That's kind of weird. He must have some. He must be. His relatives must be politically powerful or something. Would I splurge every night at the Swordfish Club if I was terminal? Probably not. If I'm terminally ill, then drinking would be the last thing on my mind. I wouldn't be able to hold down any solids or anything. And alcohol wouldn't, and food would not be good for me. Well, Pugman, everyone is going to struggle. But if they can do less struggling, you know, and just concentrate on things like their education, I mean, that works out for me. But again, you know, I'm going to make my appropriate donations, but, you know, that's just the way I feel about things. I think that, to me, family is very important. It gives me balance in life as far as my family is concerned. No, I've been drinking Earl Grey. But I'm not drunk or anything. Hardly. OG, muscle growth is dependent upon recovery. The exercise is only a catalyst. As long as you get enough sleep and you get a proper diet in, that's where your muscle growth happens. You don't grow muscles lifting weights, you grow muscle during the recovery process. No problem, Goldberg. Do I like the Cybertruck? I think it's ugly. I like my vehicles with curves in it. You know, we need to get back to those good old 1950s cars and stuff. I think that was the golden age of cars where they had nice curl and fins and stuff like that. I've always found those cars to be so cool. I don't cheat there, Pugs, man. I was just making a point to where if I went and shacked up with a lady and got married to her, and I'm knowing that I'm gay, then I'm not doing right by her, you know. Goldberger, I'm way too based in order to run for local office. And I don't have any aspirations of running for office. Some live streamers get a lot of donations by having a shot of booze. Not me. I run my live streams for fun, and that way I can keep in touch with all my viewers and subscribers, you know. A lot of people do donate very well, Pugman, a couple other people and stuff. But ultimately, you know, I like doing my live streams there. I have fun. I enjoy them. I'm going to still smoke a cigar and have my tea, regardless as to whether I'm doing a live stream or not. So why not hang out with you guys? That's the whole purpose of doing my live streams. I mean, I like getting money for it because it's stuff I can put back into the channel as I've done. But I just like communicating with you. It's important that if you run a YouTube channel that you keep in touch with your subscribers. There's no assistance in dying in this state. That's only in, like, I think Maine or so. Psycho, I don't keep up the rugby. Rugby is, I mean, people play football around here in place of rugby. There are rugby teams. I've already been in the Army. I had to get out because of medical reasons. Favorite Elvis song? Probably In the Ghetto. Yeah, the 60s and 70s. I like cars with curves in them. The Cybertruck is just squares and stuff. It reminds me of those old Atari Jaguar games. Lamar, I've already been in the Army. That's non-negotiable. And I've been in the real Army, not like Jason Blaha. Goldberger, I definitely appreciate the donation there. Favorite comic character? Probably Batman. Great detective. He was able to do his job. He didn't need no superpowers or anything. But I'm more big on anime like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and stuff. All right, Goldberger, you have a good night. Thanks for joining. And again, thanks for the donation. Yeah, good old classic cars. I love them. I mean, I really do. I'm probably going to get one of those old 50s cars, like a Ford Fairlane, or so forth. I really like the Fairlane. I don't have a rendition of the pride flag. I don't keep pride flags in my house. Favorite DBZ villain? Oh, there's so many. I like Majin Buu. Meet you up! Meet you up! Majin Buu was awesome. I turn you to chocolate! But just about every bad guy in Dragon Ball Z has gone good, with the exception of Cell. I mean, even Frieza. I mean, Frieza, of all people, he helped save the entire universe with Goku, so crazy stuff. I've heard nothing new in the Leo case. It's just marinating right now. Favorite rendition of the Bible? That's going to be pretty hard to answer. I always like the part where it says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the Lord, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod, thy staff that comfort me. Thou preparest a table for my enemies." Like, well. I think that's is that in Deuteronomy or so? Can't. Must be the drinking or so. I mean, I'm not drunk, but when I'm all relaxed and everything, I have a tendency to forget things. Super Boo. I didn't really like Super Boo. I did like Baby was a pretty evil person. Yeah, Frieza was badass. I can never figure out if Frieza was a man or a woman, though. One thing for sure, I remember when Frieza just beat the living crap out of Vegeta. That was before Goku went Super Saiyan. I mean, he literally, Frieza just literally destroyed him. Just punching him in the back. I mean, it just looked like it hurt. Religion, Christianity. Psalms 23rd. Yep, that's the one. Psalms. I don't date rappers. Favorite rendition of the Quran? I don't have one. I've read the Quran and it's read like the Bible, you know. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the Quran and the Bible. Well, Thick Cut, you got a lot of episodes to catch up on. I mean, thousands of them. Richard will eventually find out, and when he finds out what he is, KCB, you'll probably see it on OnlyFans. Socrates, they need to keep it up. They need to be making videos. They need to get their name back out and recover from everything. I'm glad they are making videos again. Yeah, they are like the Ginyu Force. Yeah, I've seen the movie Akira dozens of times. It's a good movie. Oh, you bet I would do a live reaction to that, KCB. Non-negotiable. I would definitely do a live stream. I thought Genova deleted his Instagram. Unless he started back another one, but he probably didn't put a good enough password on it. I mean, I've had my email hacked before, but that was in the early days. I really didn't put a good password on it either. I had a password like Firepower, and I learned my lesson the hard way on that. Oh, Eldorado, yes sir. Good classic car. What am I having for dinner tonight? Well, I don't eat carbs after 6 p.m., so I'll probably have some asparagus and some ahi tuna. I think he's coming along okay with the guitar. It might actually bring back some of his sanity. Yeah, he's just been posting workout videos, so he must be just going through his moment. I've not made too many videos neither, but I've been pretty busy lately. The biggest thing is I've been working to sell the Well of Mimir site, and then I have the Cyber Games Online site that I built that I need to get approved to get sold. He cleansed nothing. He's never done anything in life, Quick Pump. But one thing about Blaha, he's good mints, that's for sure. But Richard's been going off the deep end, so I've been just more or less watching him. He said he was looking to commit suicide and stuff. He needs to start drinking and smoking. Don't take those nicotine pills and stuff. He's probably getting a whole bunch of nicotine in a day. More than any type of cigar that I would ever smoke. I would have the Ford Fairlane, OG. Just mentioned that earlier. I love the Ford Fairlane. I think that's an awesome car. If I had a second choice, it would be a Dodge Demon 72. I could live with a Dart Swinger, but a Dodge Demon would be even better. I used to game a bunch, but I fell off the map ever since I moved here. And that's mainly because I don't have any internet. So I donated the 360 that I had. That was my last game system that I had, was a Xbox 360. The old Piana Giada. I didn't find it funny at first, Psycho, because I don't want no one slapping Janoy around, but Janoy made good mints from it there, that's for sure. He took lemons and made lemonade out of it. I will never order anything from Frank Tufano. Never. It's overpriced, and Frank Tufano is a horrible person. Yeah, Richard's done some really sick things, you know, making fun of people dying and filming heart attacks and stuff. I mean, he's crazy. Speaking of Ford Fairlane, have you ever seen the movie The Adventures of Ford Fairlane? Yes, he did post it, Pugman. This was back in like 2015 or 2016 when he filmed. But he's long taken down those videos. Chances are it's probably still floating around on one of those other minor channels. But he deleted a whole bunch of his old videos to keep from getting community strikes. Well, Janoy's a very strong person, KCB. He can, despite everything, he can lift some good weight. I mean, he's better than your average scrawny twink that's running around that does nothing but sit in their man cave. Yeah, I want a car that people can see that doesn't look like every other. Because a lot of these cars nowadays are a bunch of cookie cutters. They got all this fancy electronics and stuff. No, I'm not going to do that, Rules. Me and Romano came close to fighting numerous times, Psycho. We almost threw down at the Lux in Las Vegas when I was with him, Dave Palumbo, and Billy Guns. Also, Mr. G was there, I think. Yeah. When we was all hanging around there and stuff. We were going to do that Billy Guns thing, so I came to the Lux there and stuff and hung out with them for a bit. That's not his thick cut. His problem isn't worrying to death. He doesn't take good care of himself. Yep, Andrew Dice Clay, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I actually liked that movie, but it bombed in the theaters. I went to watch that in the theaters. I thought it was all right, you know. Yeah, that's a Lincoln Continental. That's a boat right there. Yeah, but I want to help the guy out there, OG. He is my third cousin after all. He needs to get the drinking and smoking. Have a cigar every once in a while, or even a cigaretto. It's going to beat taking those nicotine pills because he's going to have a tendency to take way too many of them. I can almost guarantee he's popping like 10 or 12 of them a day. I didn't like that particular year of the Jaguar there, Justin. It's a nice car, but it has a lot of mechanical issues with it. Woo, the Steve McQueen car. Yeah. Steve McQueen was an awesome person. He was the epitome of cool. Sort of like Cary Grant. You know, when I think of Steve McQueen and the Cary Grants, I'm thinking to myself, I want to be just as cool as those two people. You know, especially Cary Grant. Cary Grant can dress and everything. And then you got Roger Moore. You know, those are some cool cats, you know. They didn't just know how to dress, but they knew how to make an impression on people. I mean, if Cary Grant and Steve McQueen was walking around today wearing the same clothes, they would still be in style, you know. That's just how much they had so much style that even 40 years later, if they were still walking around, people would still want to dress like them and be like them. Well, you've taken good care of your Jaguar there, Justin. OG, you shouldn't smoke Black and Milds. Don't smoke those. Get real cigars. The reason being is a Black and Mild is no different than a cigarette. Plus, the wrap on them is paper. No, not really. In my lifetime, I've probably smoked maybe 10 cigarettes ever. And I didn't start smoking cigars until, regularly smoking cigars until like 2016, 2018. Because I was already done with my bodybuilding career and stuff, so. That and life was pretty stressful after I got divorced and I moved down here, so, yeah. Like I said, real men deal with their stress with liquor and smokes. Die of lung cancer or die by suicide, you know? I'll take the lung cancer any day. But of course, my granddad, he did a lot more smoking, smoked cigarettes and dipped tobacco and snuff. Still lived to be 90. Get out of here, Rules. I ought to ban you for saying that. Prius. Hey, Danny, welcome to the show. We just hanging out and chilling. I've not fished in a long time, but fishing is very relaxing. I'll probably get back into it eventually. What do you mean, Pugman? Who are you referring to? The problem with Gurkha is they make too many varieties of cigars. Now, the only Gurkha cigars I get generally that I do like is the Gurkha Hudson Bays. But I've not been getting those lately. I mean, I put an order in. I got some Mark Twain cigars and some Olivia Seconds, because they were having like a blowout on Cigars International. So I got some pretty good deals. Plus, I mean, the thing about it is nowadays I'm smoking little tiny cigarettos regularly. I'm not smoking big cigars anymore. In fact, usually when I have the big cigars, usually just on my live streams. But I've cut down on the cigar habit a whole bunch ever since I left Verizon. Cut down on the drinking. I mean, like I said, nowadays, other than going to the Swordfish, I just have one here on my live stream and one on Friday, and that's it. Most days I'm not drinking anything at all. Like I said, once I left Verizon, I don't have to go and hang out with friends. I don't have to do business meetings anymore. Everything pretty much cut down. Cigars, drinking, and stuff. Cohibras rank very high. I mean, the Nicaragua Cohibras are surprisingly good. Of course, they're known for their Dominican and their Cuban cigars. Nah, rules. I don't ban anyone. At the most, if someone's spamming the channel, I just time them out and that's it. I usually let them back in like 15 minutes or so. Danny, it's all a matter of willpower. You smoke weed because it's in your head. It's sort of like bodybuilding. For example, you have to get into that mindset to where you're going to diet down and you're going to compete. You have to focus on it. Have I ever smashed any coworkers from Verizon? Yes, I have. Just one. But he wasn't exactly a coworker. He worked the floor above me. But he moved to Atlanta, actually. Nice guy, though. Ecstasy was very enjoyable back in the 90s. Yeah, it was definitely more enjoyable than a cigar, but I recognize the dangers of ecstasy. That was in me youth. I did drink a lot of water when doing X. Didn't spit at all. I wasn't sucking him off or anything. Alright, Thick Cut, take care. Yes, he was black. And yes, he was tight. Folks, I just pound ass there, you know, I don't do all this other stuff. Yeah, ecstasy is toxic. But it was common at the raves and in the 90s, so you didn't have to worry about things like fentanyl and stuff. Well, Danny, none of that stuff's pure anymore. Everyone's mixing stuff with fentanyl. I wouldn't do any type of drugs in this day and age at this point, especially with fentanyl. Fentanyl is so quick to kill you, you know? And no, I wouldn't pound out J Masters by a long shot. I did a lot of stupid things when I was young. Sometimes I wish I can go back in time and just yell at my younger self and it's like, hey, why are you doing this stuff for? Have I ever had the Chinese white? I don't know what you're talking about. I've had sake before. I love sake. I like all the Misfits. I don't have a particular favorite one. If I had to choose, it would be Genova. I like Genova. Genova's pretty cool. And Lenny's alright too, and Brad and stuff, and Dale. The one I like the least is going to be J Masters. He has a very ugly soul. No, I wouldn't fuck Brad. I wouldn't know that, Quick Pump. But taking a guess, I would say yes. But I like working with a clean surface. And remember, folks, twist and not jab. I don't like it when Genova gets scammed, but on the other hand, Genova has scammed people too, you know. I mean, that's what made him so popular. He always used to get stuff from PJ a bunch, so I mean, you scam some and then you get scammed. They're not going to put fentanyl in cigars. They're closely monitored. They only put fentanyl in those illegal drugs. No, I hate Prince Andrew, especially messing with those underage women. And those people in the Epstein people disgust me. Who wants an underage child anyway? I mean, they smell, kids smell funny, you know, and stuff. They're loud and obnoxious and stuff like that, you know. Yes, Pugman, they smell a whole lot different than a cigarette. A cigarette has a chemical smell. A cigar has a natural tobacco smell because it's nothing but tobacco. Of course, it also depends on what type of cigar you're getting, whether it's a Maduro, which is a more stronger cigar. If I want something real light for breakfast, for example, I'll go with a Connecticut with my coffee. Oh, Prince Andrew. Oh, yeah, he's all right. So, got it mixed up, man. My bad. I've not looked at that yet, their truth one. I do need to go on my Instagram today to check out that fight between Cuban and stuff. But like I said, I've been kind of distracted. Like I said, a whole bunch of crap that's been going on. Yeah, kids smell. They're dirty. But, you know, unfortunately, some of these pedophiles love these kids and stuff, so what can you do? But that used to be common in the Greek times where, you know, Roman and Greek soldiers would go out into the field. And of course, obviously, women couldn't go there. So they would bring teenagers along with them and stuff for sexual purposes. Just disgusting and stuff. The type of behavior is not acceptable in this day and age. But still, some of these people think it's still the Roman times, and they are wrong! Wrong! Well, if you have to take a dump after a cigar, then it's not a good cigar. Coffee, on the other hand, you know, that'll do that to you. I don't eat at McDonald's. Their burgers taste bad. They use really cheap meat. I'll have a Wendy's burger or I'll have a Burger King, but ultimately I don't eat fast food. It's also too expensive for my taste. I won't want, if I'm going to go and eat out, I want to have one good meal rather than 5 crappy meals. And I can make a better burger at home anyway. Well, you have to remember, as time goes by, ancient, things that were acceptable at the time are no longer acceptable. Like slavery, for example, you know. And chopping people's heads off, and those things are not acceptable anymore. Burger King order, double Whopper and cheese. No, I just find that fast food is cheaply made there, Danny. It's not worth the money that you pay for it, even though it's cheap. I don't know, does McDonald's steam their burgers or something? I also know that a lot of the food is microwaved and stuff. Verizon didn't do me dirty. I mean, it's just business. You know, I don't have cable or fiber, and they no longer allowed me to use my cellular modem. It's just the way things are. I worked there 4 more years than I wanted to anyway. So it's just the nature of the beast. Yeah, I like making oatmeal in the morning. But give me just a second. I'll be right back. Gotta take a pee. Oh boy. Ah, boy. Much better. Yeah, OG, anytime a new restaurant opens, the food's going to be good at first, but then people get lazy at cooking. Wendy's was my first paycheck type job, actually. Everything else I got cash for, whether I was selling Avon or not. That was when you can be a door-to-door salesman. How's my prostate? I get it checked twice a year, Psycho. But it's fine. I mean, in my family, I don't have a family history of cancer. My family history mainly consists of high blood pressure and diabetes, like most typical black folks. Hmm. Now, if I had a family history of cancer, for example, then I would try to take the best steps necessary in order to mitigate that. But cancer is going to be a hereditary type thing. But honestly, I don't worry about that because, every man and woman on this earth has an expiration date. Any roid side effects? I've not had any side effects other than losing fat, building muscle. Just the stuff you would expect with steroids. And it works a lot better since I've not used them in so long. Yeah, there's nothing like a good franchise business, especially one that's in the neighborhood, because despite the ingredients, a franchise has a bigger tendency to take care of their customers. For me, it's all convenience, but I've grilled out on my patio before. It's just not something I do often. I get one of those disposable grills. No 2-a-day prostate checks. That's true, Ancient. It's just a source of beef and stuff. I mean, if I'm going to have a burger, I'll go to Roof Chris. And if Roof Chris isn't open, I'll go to Five Guys. That's if I am in the mood for a burger. Well, one of my uncles owns a bunch of McDonald's franchises in Atlanta. I suppose I could ask him to run one, but I would never buy a McDonald's franchise. It requires a lot of money up front. And just because you have a McDonald's doesn't mean it's going to be automatically successful. If I was going to have a franchise, I would probably go with something like Church's or Popeyes because fried chicken is very popular in the South. And plus, especially Church's because, there's a good profit margin. It also depends on the neighborhood. If I'm going to set up a restaurant in a black neighborhood, I'm going to serve fried chicken. I'm not going to serve hamburgers. So it's also, when it comes to opening up a restaurant of any type, it's going to be a regional type thing. I'm horrible at barbecue. I don't eat grits anymore, Danny, because it's I prefer oatmeal nowadays, but I used to eat a lot of grits when I was growing up. Vertical diet is dumb. And when you're eating too much red meat, you do have trouble sleeping, and it's going to clog up your arteries. In order for Big Lenny to get on EBT, he's going to have to report his income. Quick pump. I used to eat at Zaxby's a lot too, but this was very long time ago, but I just, like I said, I don't eat fast food anymore. I've just grown out of it. Yeah, Book of Dark, like I said, when it comes to opening up a franchise, I want to make sure that it's in a proper area to where they're going to eat it. Like I said, if I'm going to be putting a franchise in a black neighborhood, I'm going to serve fried chicken, you know? I mean, and I'm not saying that because I'm being racist or anything like that or anything. But sometimes it comes down to race when it comes to setting up any type of restaurant. And these are things that you think of. You don't think of race or anything. You think of race but more importantly, you have to think of profit as well. But any other place, any affluent place, I would open up a French restaurant. It wouldn't even be a franchise chain. I would serve French food, French, crepes and shit like that, And definitely brunch. I love brunch. Brunch is good. Indian food's difficult because I don't know how to cook Indian food. Bro Team, my physique was built upon grilled chicken and sweet potatoes. Much like any other typical bodybuilder. Yeah, demographics are important. If I drink soda psycho, I drink Diet Cola. Diet Coca-Cola. No Coke Zero because that gives me kidney stones for some odd reason. And I definitely don't like grape soda because it's too sweet. I don't eat fruit, folks. I eat vegetables. I eat asparagus. And part of that is because I like my food bland, if you guys notice. I prefer bland food. I don't want things too spicy or anything like that. I don't eat wings, OG. The only wings that I will eat is at the Swordfish Club. But even when I'm at the Swordfish Club, I've only had wings there once. Most of the time I'll either have the steamed pork buns, or I will have just the bread that they make, or the ice cream. They make good ice cream there. When I wake up whenever I wake up. I don't set an alarm clock or anything. Even when I was working at Verizon, I try to I sleep a bunch, so I like getting as much sleep as possible. I need to have at least 8 hours of sleep in order to be functional. I don't like sleeping 5 or 6 hours. I've done it before and I've never felt good. I just like the taste of asparagus. I like roast asparagus. I mean, and it's also good for your health. It cleans out your urinary system and stuff. I mean, your pee smells funny, but it has a nice nutty. The way I roast it, it has a nice nutty flavor. But like I said, I'm pretty much a person that eats bland food. I don't like spicy foods so much. Yes, I eat about 6 times a day, but most of them were shakes, protein shakes. I had like 2 or 3 protein shakes, and then I would have 3 small meals. And whenever I was dieting, I tore up the tuna. I would take sugar over aspartame. But, you know, whenever I was competing, you know, I drank straight black coffee. I didn't put anything in it. No sugar, no cream or anything, just straight black coffee. I do not have an El Poco Loco here, Pugman. There's no franchises for maybe like 200 miles at least. I think they got one in Atlanta. But no El Poco Loco. If I like bland food, what are my toppings for a burger? Just lettuce and tomato. And cheese. I've met one of the Barbarian brothers. I've not met both of them. But I have spoken with both of them before. They're pretty cool people to talk to. A lot of times they'll, if you go and speak with them, they'll talk about the old Venice Beach days. That's generally the thing with most of the older people, you know. They'll always talk about the golden ages of bodybuilding. But if you went and talk with the Barbarian brothers, they'll tell you everything you need to know about those old Venice Beach days in the 70s and 80s. What's my prime protein source right now? Probably turkey. I eat a lot of turkey, and then the next thing I eat is tuna, ahi tuna, or any type of seafood. Yes, I've laid the pipe when I've been on test. Yes, one of the Barbarian brothers did. It's been about a couple months, actually. I'm drinking Earl Grey tea right now, or at least I finished it. That's why the name of this channel is Earl Grey Tuesday. But Earl Grey tea is the only tea that I actually drink, Danny. There's an increase of a large size of... I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I've not noticed. Oh yeah, you do get better. I have gotten better erections with testosterone. I wasn't hardly getting anything beforehand, which is part of the reason why I went on it, because I had zero testosterone. I don't listen to DJ Jonas. Like I said, most of the time I'm playing jazz. Some dance music when I'm working out, because it gets me motivated. Most of the time at home, I like relaxing music. I don't want a lot of noise whenever at nighttime. I've had loose leaf teas and regular teas. I've never noticed a difference there, Danny. Ancient for the most part, yes. Now, I do love some Duke's mayonnaise. But yeah, I avoid a lot of condiments. I don't keep ketchup in my fridge. I just keep Grey Poupon. And whenever I was dieting down, whenever I had my tuna, I would mix it with Ingerhofer mustard. And that was a good way to crush the cravings for food. I don't feel 18. I feel like I'm 30, like I was in whenever I was in my 30s. But I definitely don't feel like I'm 18. I do feel my age, folks. Well, TJ, I may turn up on a Delray Misfits podcast. I mean, I've already been on RX Muscle, so I wouldn't mind that. Romano's never been a big guy. I mean, he's never been a bodybuilder or so forth. He's just had an above average physique, taking steroids and all. I would say that he has a gym rat's physique. That would be the best way to describe it. I don't focus too much on libido there, Truth One. I just get it hard and stick it in, and stuff. But my libido has gone up ever since I've taken TRT. That I will attest to. All right, folks, we got 15 minutes left. Get your questions in. If you want to make a donation, drop some in the collection plate. Help me pay off that $900 chargeback from getting defrauded and stuff. Yeah, Mr. G is getting bigger, but he's not gonna get too much bigger because Mr. G's in his 60s, quick pump. So there's only so far where he can go. He's not going to be benching 400 for 2 reps anymore. And definitely not Palumbo or John. Maybe Greg Valentino can possibly, but you have to remember these guys are in their 60s now. I mean, Romano is like 61. I would still say Mr. G would have it there, Psycho. But you have to understand, we're all getting up in age. I mean, whenever you're doing RX muscle, I mean, these guys are in their 60s. I mean, next year, Dave is going to turn 60 himself, He's I think he's 59. Romano's like 61 or 62. Greg Valentino's like 63, actually. I didn't accidentally have porn VHS. I've actually had porn videos that they weren't by accident. But you have to understand, quick pump. I didn't get my, in my family, we had a VCR whenever I was a teenager. But I never bought porn tapes. You have to remember, you had to be 18 really to go into one of those little porn shops anyway. And I wasn't 18 at the time as far as VCR. So I'm a little off that particular time frame, per se. I'm sorry to hear about that, Book of Dark. Make sure you're drinking a lot of orange juice is what I would say. Yeah, they used to be pink and they used to always be like, I always liked those 6-hour porn tapes. I thought he was born in 64. I may be thinking of somebody else, Truth One. But he is still up in age. I mean, 55, it may as well be 60. Nanny porn is good for you. It helps out with libido, and I think it keeps things interesting. I mean, but if you're beating your meat too much, then that's when it's a problem. The only time porn is a problem is when it becomes an addiction. You have to remember, human beings are sexual in nature, much like most animals. So, porn in itself, the reason why people watch so much porn is because human beings are instinctive towards appropriation, in other words. You know, we desire sex because it's instinctive behavior, no different than animals. So acting upon your instincts is never harmful, Danny. It's just when it gets addictive, or if you start staring at little kids and stuff like that, then that's, or dogs, bestiality. Oh, did I ever tell you guys about the time I had to book someone in for buggery? This teenager I booked in, I asked him what he was, I looked at his files, and I didn't even know what the word buggery is, so I said out loud, "What the hell is buggery?" And everybody in the intake started laughing. And then they whispered it in my ear. I'm like, oh. And then I looked at him. I'm like, "You sick freak." He looked like a normal kid. He didn't even look like a pedophile or anything like that. He was just looked like a regular teenager. One that just got out of school and everything. And I'm looking at this person, I realized he's fucked a dog. Literally. Poor pooch. Of course, we're getting close, so I better get this soul pole. Let me redo that. Hold on. Mouth's a little dry. Soul pole. No, defecating porno, that means you got something wrong in the cojones. I definitely don't get enticed when I see someone doo-doo or anything. It's human nature to appropriate, you know. It's just human nature, even for gay people or so forth. We have that driven nature to appropriate, you know. There's a term for defecating behind gyms. That would be the J Masters movement. I can't believe he took a dump behind the gym and he went back a week later and went and visited it. That is just nasty. No, that's weird. Foot porn. Like I said, I just like straight up, you know, regular porn. Gay porn, but yeah. I don't want nothing fancy with my porn, folks. I just want straight up, or seeing someone take it up there, and that's it, you know. Nothing all crazy, no peeing in the face or anything like that, you know. And I just keep it simple. I mean, I don't like none of that stuff. Urine and stuff and whipping people in the backs and stuff, you know. That's not cool. I don't know what that is, Book of Dark. You'll need to describe that. But remember, you only have 5 minutes. But yes, folks, we got 5 minutes left. Get your questions in. If you need to put something in the donation pot, you definitely can do that too. Truth one, that's going to be even. Neither one of them have pretty good hygiene. Urethral, gosh, OG. Urethral sounding? Are you kidding me? Buggery? That's when you're screwing an animal. It's the same as bestiality. Sexual attraction objects. Now, buggery, just to be clear, folks, buggery in particular really means anal intercourse. But in the criminal court of law, if you get arrested for buggery, that means you're screwing an animal of some type. That's what it's listed on the files. They may call it something, they may actually list bestiality, but if you get arrested for buggery, that means you put your ding-dong in a place to where you weren't supposed to. Ancient, I've not really watched any of Tripps's videos. They're kind of lame. His videos used to be a lot more better, but he's just been flaking lately. Do I pull out? Yes, when I get finished. There's no point in beating a dead horse. Have it flopping around and stuff, you know. I mean, buggery in itself means anal intercourse, but if it's listed on criminal charges, that means you're screwing a dog or a horse or a cat or something, you know. You know, a long time ago, it used to be illegal just to have any type of anal sex. And part of the reason being is because anal intercourse is non-procreative behavior, in other words. The only sex that was allowed back in the days was any type of sex intended for a procreation. That's what the churches used to do. If you're pounding someone's pooper shoot, or you're not gonna get a baby out of it. So, what are my weight loss goals? Just to get down to maybe 210 or 220. But I never look at weight. I just look at the mirror. I just want to get the safety fat off, and that's the biggest thing. Did you ever go out in high heel shoes? One time for Halloween. That was about it, you know. Sodomy is a sin? Well, there's a lot of things that are sin. Gluttony is also a sin as well, you know. I mean, if more dudes did anal there, they wouldn't be stuck with child support bills or anything like that. Or if they actually went and put on Jimmy hats and stuff. Psycho, I have no idea who the sexiest man on the planet is. It's going to be dependent upon what you look. I would say that I'm the most sexiest man on the planet, if anything. Oh yeah, I listen to 9 Inch Nails. It's awesome there. I like 9 Inch Nails. They were a good band. Gets you definitely motivated in the gym, that's for sure. Oh yeah, no problem there, Danny. All right, folks, it is 10 o'clock p.m. And that is the end of Earl Grey Tuesday. Be sure to tune in on Friday. Check out the other videos. May do a reaction live stream Saturday. It just really all depends. Want to thank everyone for joining me. And as always, peace and soul.